Hey guys, Dave Keller here with Market Misbehavior, coming to you from the Stock Charts global headquarters in Redmond, Washington. Last weekend, I was down in San Francisco for the TSAA annual conference. And if you're not familiar with the TSAA, it's a technical analysis organization that's been around for many, many years. It was founded in 1970, if I remember right, by a number of people, including Hank Pruden. Hank was a professor at Golden Gate University and taught many people here on the West Coast about technical analysis. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2018. And so it was really cool to get back to the conference and see the organization growing and thriving after Hank's passing and doing a lot of things I think he would be very, very proud of. One of the great speakers there, and again, I come back from a conference like that with all sorts of notes, pages of notes of things I want to think about and things I want to try and ways that I think I can improve my own process. And one of the speakers was Dave Landry. He has a website over at davelandry.com. He does a really good job of simplifying the idea of trading, and not just the discipline, right? Not just the toolkit, right? So there's a lot of simple tools for stop losses and triggers and all of that, but also simplifying the decision-making process, right? Getting out of your own way, getting out of your head, and trying to come up with simple ways to understand where you should be at in the decision. He has a lot of ways of doing this, but one of his main ways he keeps coming back to is just a series of 3 arrows. There's an arrow up and to the right, which says uptrend, an arrow down and to the right, which says downtrend, and then a sideways arrow that says sideways. And that simple message, which he had printed on papers, in little books, on cocktail napkins, all over the place, and his PowerPoint presentation was all focusing on this idea of simplifying, right? Instead of going through all how complicated you have to make it to decide what is happening, right? Look at the chart. Is it going up, down, or sideways? It's something that totally hits home for me because I know in my previous role at Fidelity in the chart room, we actually used to draw on the whiteboard series of 3 arrows, an arrow going up and said good, an arrow going down that said bad, and an arrow that went sideways that said frustrating. And a lot of times we would bucket markets into one of those 3 buckets. It's in the good category. All right, why is it in there? And a lot of times it was pretty easy to identify what was what. So why did we tend to get in our own way, tend to make it so complicated when that clear conclusion could be drawn very simply, right? Just by taking a step back and looking at the chart. So my question, my challenge for all of you this week is, what can you do in your own investment process, in your own decision-making to simplify things, right? What is one process, one series of steps, one investment idea, thesis that you make way too complicated, right? That you have additional or maybe unnecessary steps where you could simplify, right? Have some way to automate what the result is, or have some way to take a step back and instead of getting too caught up in the weeds of all the different analytical steps, why not take one general idea? Is this going up, down, or sideways, right? How can you apply that thinking, that paradigm to your own process? I hope as you go through it, you'll find ways that you can. I know for myself, I'm actually coming back to the office and I'm thinking about some of the projects that I had in mind. And what I realized is I was focusing way too much on minute details instead of the end result. And then I thought of it just as the arrow, right? Where is this arrow supposed to be headed? Then I can start thinking about all the steps between point A and point B. I'm not focused enough on where point B actually is. And as a result, I'm getting way too caught up in the weeds. So I hope this helps you this week simplify your process to some degree, or at least simplify one piece of it. If this sort of thinking of investment process, decision-making, behavioral psychology, and investing is of interest to you, just hit subscribe for me. Also check out some of the other videos on the Market Misbehavior channel. Thanks so much.